Hi, advisors. This is Grace Wynn, the Assistant Director for Club Engagement at the Center for Student Involvement. First off, thank you so much for being an advisor. We appreciate all your time and your work and your energy that you give to our students as they work to build community on campus. We've put together some risk management trainings for y'all, just so you know all the resources that are available to you as an advisor, but also the resources that we provide to students and the policies that we give them as well. To start, I'll be talking about domestic travel. We consider domestic travel within the United States more than 50 miles away from Seattle University and includes an overnight stay. For international travel, we'll have a section later from our friends at Education Abroad. When clubs are doing domestic travel, we ask that they send a notification email. This includes me, Chris Wilcoxon from Public Safety, and also you as the advisor. We ask them to include their full name, their SU email, phone number, SU ID, and if they're flying, their flight information, and if they're going to wherever they're going through a different means, let's say they're driving, we want them to give us just some general information on that as well. We also ask that they designate a point of contact, and this is all to have a system in place so that if something does go wrong or if we need to reach out to anyone, we know who's on the trip and who we can reach out to. Here's an example of if a club is going on a flight to a conference, this is a template that they can use. We also ask that they send this at least 1 week before their travels, just so everybody is in the loop. While they're on their trip, we also want them to review and adhere to the Red Hawk Commitment and Code of Student Conduct. This can be found on the Red Hawk Hub page of the Office of the Dean of Students. Next up, we'll talk a bit about liability. When it comes to liability, we really want this to be a conversation where if y'all as advisors hear about anything that our office should be aware of, please let me know. We want them to keep an eye out if there's any events that involve risk or if there are any university policies that you think are being broken, please let us know. We can definitely reach out to them and make sure that they're following the rules to keep everyone safe. Next up is finances. Just to give you a rundown of how club finances work, all clubs have club accounts through the university, and they have their own unique activity strings, soon to be called drivers in Workday, and our office oversees the spending that happens through this. The treasurers will have access in Workday to see what their club's balances is and to also manage purchasing if they want to do any catalog purchasing or send any money to vendors. We also ask that clubs track their own club spending just in case, let's say, we don't deposit some cash from them until the end of the week, or at the end of every month, I reconcile the Square account that all clubs use. So we want to make sure that they're also aware of how much money they have, even if it's not directly reflected in Workday. Some common forms of funding include fundraising and bake sales. For bake sales, we have clubs adhere to the King County Public Health Food Guidelines. There's also student government sponsorships where they'll be able to receive and request money from either SGSU or GSGA. And there's also donations. Some of the common finance warnings include pro card warnings. We have pro cards that clubs can check out, and we have them go through a thorough training where we go through all the guidelines for how much they can spend on it, how long they can check out a pro card for, and what we need on our side to charge it and reconcile it to their account. Another one is negative balance. If a club at any point has a negative balance, we have to issue their club a warning and we require them to be able to be at zero or a positive number by the end of the year. Another warning includes Venmo. As I mentioned earlier, we have a Square account that is pretty similar to Venmo, but we use Square because we're able to see what money is coming in and out of clubs, and we also prevent any financial fraud from potentially happening. So our office has eyes on that, and we issue warnings when clubs are using Venmo as well. The last one is unsanctioned fundraisers. This can be for a variety of reasons where, let's say, clubs are selling an item that is not allowed by food policy, or if they're doing a fundraiser and they haven't requested a square. There are a couple different things that can go into a fundraiser that wasn't approved, but generally, clubs know that there is a process where they have to request a square, and then they also, if they're selling any food, they should go through the bake sale request form, where on our side, we make sure that the foods they're selling are food safe and they won't hurt anybody who buys them. All in all, if y'all have any questions for us, feel free to reach out to me. My email is gnguyen@seattleu.edu, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this training or any of the other ones in this module. Thank you so much.